The notion that we humans only utilize a mere 10% of our brain's capacity is a remarkably persistent idea. It has circulated for decades, perhaps even a century, finding its way into popular culture, self-help books, and even casual conversations about human potential. This myth suggests a vast, untapped reservoir of cognitive power just waiting to be unlocked. Imagine the possibilities if we could access that dormant 90%. This thought alone is incredibly seductive. It whispers of hidden talents, extraordinary mental feats, and a future where human intellect could soar to unimaginable heights. The very simplicity of the percentage makes it easy to grasp and repeat, contributing to its enduring life cycle in our collective imagination. Why does this myth have such a tenacious grip on our minds? Well, it taps into a fundamental human desire for self-improvement and transcendence. The idea that we are operating at a fraction of our true capability is inherently optimistic. It offers hope that with the right key, the right technique, or perhaps a fortuitous accident, we could unleash abilities far beyond our current comprehension. Think about it. If you believed you had a supercar but were only using first gear, wouldn't you be curious about what happens when you shift up? This allure of untapped potential is powerful. It fuels industries promising to unlock this hidden power, even though the premise itself is scientifically unsound. However, when we turn to the rigorous methods of neuroscience, this captivating 10% figure quickly unravels. Modern brain imaging techniques such as functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, and positron emission tomography, PT, scans paint a very different picture. These tools allow scientists to observe the brain in action, and they reveal that virtually all areas of the brain show some level of activity, even during mundane tasks or states of rest. There are no vast silent expanses waiting to be awakened. Instead, we see a complex dynamic organ where different regions work in concert, much like a finely tuned orchestra, rather than a mostly empty stage. So the journey we are about to embark upon is not one of discovering a mythical 90%, but rather understanding the incredible 100% we already possess. We will explore how this marvelous organ functions, how its different parts contribute to our everyday experiences, and how we can genuinely enhance its performance. The truth about our brain power is, in many ways, far more fascinating and empowering than the myth it replaces. It is a story of intricate design, remarkable efficiency, and the continuous potential for growth and adaptation within the very real limits of our biology. Let's delve into the cosmos within our skulls. Contrary to the popular myth, scientific evidence overwhelmingly demonstrates that we use virtually all of our brain, just not all at the same time with maximum intensity. Think of it like your muscles. You use different muscle groups for different activities. You wouldn't engage every single muscle in your body simultaneously to simply pick up a cup of tea. Similarly, your brain allocates resources as needed. Different regions of the brain are highly specialized, each responsible for distinct functions. This specialization is what allows for the incredible complexity of human thought and behavior. It is a marvel of biological engineering honed over millions of years of evolution. Consider the various tasks your brain performs constantly. The occipital lobe, located at the back of your head, is primarily responsible for processing visual information, allowing you to see the world around you. The temporal lobes, situated on the sides, handle auditory processing, memory formation, and language comprehension. Your frontal lobe, the command center at the front, is crucial for higher-level cognitive functions like planning, decision-making, problem-solving, and moderating social behavior. Then there's the cerebellum, involved in coordinating voluntary movements, posture, balance, and even some cognitive functions. Each part has a role, and they are all active to varying degrees throughout your day. Brain imaging technologies provide a window into this bustling activity. When you read these words, your visual cortex is active, your language centers are processing meaning, and your frontal lobes are engaged in comprehension. Even when you are seemingly at rest, perhaps daydreaming, your brain's default mode network is active, involved in self-referential thought and maintaining a baseline level of awareness. Neuroscientists can observe these patterns of activation, seeing how blood flow increases to specific areas as they become more engaged in a task. This detailed mapping shows no dormant 90%. Instead, it reveals a dynamic interplay of regions working together. Therefore, the idea of only using a small fraction of our brain simply doesn't align with what we observe. Every part of the brain has a known function. Damage to even small areas of the brain through injury or disease can have devastating and very specific consequences for an individual's abilities, further underscoring the fact that all brain regions are important and utilized. It's not about unlocking unused portions, it's about understanding how the whole complex system works together so efficiently, performing an incredible symphony of electrochemical signals that constitute our thoughts, feelings, and actions. So, if we are already using all of our brain, what does it mean to unlock more brain power or improve its function? It certainly doesn't mean developing telekinesis, reading minds, or gaining instantaneous superintelligence, as often portrayed in science fiction that plays on the 10% myth. These fantastical abilities remain firmly in the realm of imagination. The reality of enhancing brain function is more grounded, yet still profoundly impactful. It's about making the existing machinery run more efficiently, improving the connections between different brain regions, and strengthening specific cognitive skills. Think of it as tuning an engine for optimal performance rather than adding a mythical warp drive. When we talk about improving brain function, we are referring to tangible enhancements in areas such as focus and concentration. Imagine being able to sustain your attention on a complex task for longer periods, filtering out distractions more effectively. We're also talking about enhancing memory, both our ability to encode new information and to retrieve stored memories more reliably. Creativity too can be nurtured. The capacity to think flexibly, generate novel ideas, and connect disparate concepts in new ways. Furthermore, improved emotional regulation is a significant aspect, allowing for a better understanding and management of our feelings, leading to more balanced responses to life's challenges. Using our brains better or more fully in a realistic sense means fostering greater neural plasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. This adaptability is what allows us to learn new skills, acquire knowledge, and recover from certain types of brain injury. When you learn a new language or a musical instrument, you're physically changing your brain, creating and strengthening pathways. This isn't about activating a dormant section, it is about refining and expanding the capabilities of the sections already hard at work, making them communicate more effectively. Therefore, the pursuit of greater brain power is not a quest for superhuman attributes, but a journey towards optimizing our inherent cognitive abilities. It is about becoming more adept learners, more focused thinkers, more creative individuals, and more emotionally intelligent beings. This optimization comes from understanding how the brain works and applying strategies that support its health and efficiency. There are no magic pills or instant upgrades. Instead, it involves consistent effort and the adoption of brain-healthy habits, which can lead to significant and meaningful improvements in how we experience and interact with the world. The potential lies in enhancing the sophisticated system we already possess. One crucial reason why our brains don't operate at full throttle in every region simultaneously is their immense energy consumption. The brain, despite accounting for only about 2% of our body weight, devours a disproportionate 20% of our total energy and oxygen intake. This makes it an incredibly expensive organ to run, metabolically speaking. Imagine the energy demand if every single neuron were firing at its maximum rate all the time. It would be unsustainable, likely leading to rapid burnout and an untenable need for caloric intake. The brain has evolved to be efficient, activating specific networks as needed rather than maintaining a constant, system-wide red alert. This inherent need for energy efficiency dictates how our brain operates. It prioritizes tasks, shifting resources to regions that are most relevant to the current situation or cognitive demand. When you are deeply engrossed in solving a complex mathematical problem, your prefrontal cortex and parietal lobes might be highly active, while other areas might be in a more quiescent state. This selective activation conserves precious energy. Nature is, after all, an excellent economist. The brain's architecture, with its specialized modules and intricate networks, allows for this targeted deployment of resources, ensuring that we can perform a vast array of complex functions without an impossible metabolic cost. So how can we enhance our brain's function within these biological constraints? The answer lies not in trying to force all parts to work harder all the time, but in working smarter. This involves activities that promote neuroplasticity and cognitive health. Lifelong learning is paramount. Engaging in new and challenging mental activities helps to build and strengthen neural pathways. This could be anything from learning a new skill, reading widely, or engaging in stimulating puzzles. Mindfulness practices such as meditation have also been shown to improve attention, reduce stress, and even induce structural changes in the brain associated with better emotional regulation and self-awareness. Ultimately, nurturing our brain is a holistic endeavor. Healthy habits play a critical role. Adequate sleep is essential for memory consolidation and clearing out metabolic byproducts. A nutritious diet provides the fuel and building blocks the brain needs, and regular physical exercise increases blood flow to the brain, promoting the growth of new neurons and improving cognitive function. By understanding that our brain is already fully utilized but can be made more efficient and resilient through conscious effort and healthy lifestyle choices, we can realistically enhance our cognitive abilities and make the most of the incredible organ between our ears. It's about optimizing the universe within